Hey everyone, Happy New Year. It is 2019. Gosh, I really feel like 2018 just flew by. And was it a good year for me? It was okay. There were certain things that I feel like could have gone better, and there's a few difficult times during the year, but it was okay. However, I'm definitely looking forward to this new year. I'm very excited about 2019 and what God's gonna do and the things that Mr. Chiwako and I have got planned. So welcome to 2019. Yes, right. The topic that I want to address today is something that a lot of people ask me about, usually newlyweds, or married couples that are just readdressing their finances. And that's something that Mr. Chiwako and I do regularly. We will take a step back and look at our money. Yes, money, money, money. So what you guys are always asking me about is whether you really need to get a joint account. Is it really necessary?
We'll just keep on praising him, raise him up. Oh yeah, you see people taking their place in your love. Oh yeah.
It's a little bit of a struggle for some people because you're like, well, this is my money. Like, I go out to work and this is the money I bring in. I can contribute to the bills. We can split the bills in half. But I want ownership of my money. I don't want to be going to work, putting my money in the account, only for you to just have freedom to go and dip into it and do what you want to do. So that kind of puts a lot of people off. And I think that just the idea of somebody else, husband or not, wife or not, having access to your hard-earned money can be a bit of a struggle for some people. So I'm going to do you a favor and I'm going to address the whole, should we have a joint account or should we not think? And I'm going to give you the pros and cons. Like, I'm not going to just say yes you should. I'm actually going to give you the pros and cons. However, I will say at this point that I am a firm believer that married couples should have a joint account. You guys decided that you're going to be one. You're one in the bedroom, you're one in your lives, you're one in all areas. You need to be one in your money. Your finances is no exception to the rule. And there's a whole lot of reasons why I feel like it works better. Mr. Chiwako and I have tried it both ways. We started off married life doing our own separate thing, but coming together on bills. He would earn his own money, I would own my own money. We decided who was paying the rent, who was paying the phone bills, who was paying the council tax. We just split the bills and we had responsibility for whichever bills were assigned to us. Outside of that, we were kind of separate. Oh no, we would also agree on how much we're saving and how much both of us are putting in to the saving pot. Yeah, then outside of that, my money was my money. Mr. Chiwako's money was his money. And we could both do whatever we wanted to and not really talk about it or plan it. Like, I earned the money, that was my money. So we did it that way. And after some time, we decided that we would switch to having a joint account because we felt that it was best for us. And maybe after hearing the pros and cons of having a joint account versus not having a joint account, you may decide that it's best for you guys too. But I do want to give you the ups and the downsides of it. I don't just want to be here and be like, you should have a joint account if you're married. It's really important that you understand why you're going to make this decision, so that you can stick to it and approach it in an informed manner. Before I go on, please help me out by hitting the subscribe button and clicking like, and leave a comment and let me know your thoughts and your views on having a joint account. It'll be interesting actually to hear if you started off with a joint account and then decided actually it's not working and had separate bank accounts. That would be interesting to know. Right, so first of all, just in case you're not quite clear on what a joint account is, let me just break it down for you. Basically, it's a bank account where two people, usually married couples, but business partners or friends, anyone can open a joint account basically, have exactly the same level of access and authority over one joint account, over one account. It's in both your names. Both of you are responsible for it. If it goes overdrawn, it's both your headache. You both have access to all the money in there. Either one of you can make a decision about the money in there. It is a joint account. So that's how it works. So I'm going to start with the cons, because I want to finish on the reasons why you should have a joint bank account. So let me get the reasons why you might decide that you're not going to out of the way. So here's con number one. Believe it or not, when you become married, you have your credit scores remain separate. It's actually getting a joint account that enables you to become co-scored. Like when they're checking out your credit score, they're looking at both of you because you have a joint account. Now that could be a bit of a con if your spouse's credit is rubbish and yours is good. You could have worked really hard to maintain great credit over the years, and then getting a joint bank account with this person whose credit isn't so good may just put you in a little bit of jeopardy or reduce your score a little bit more. So that's not so cool, and I can understand why that might put some of you off actually. Another con, although I don't see it as a con in marriage, but you may see it as a con, is that you lose privacy. As in, there's no secrets with your money. Both of you have access to the bank account. You're both going to get the statement. You're going to see exactly what your spouse has been spending the money on, and vice versa. So if you're really rubbish with money and you spend without thinking and you haven't been communicating about your spending, well, you know, your spouse is going to get access, and they're going to see that you're rubbish with money, and they may question you about your money, which might be brand new to you. All these years you've just been doing what you want, and now you've got somebody who has full access to your spending habits. And so the loss of privacy, some may see as a con. Alright, so the other thing about having a joint account is that if you are married to somebody who has really bad spending habits, that's going to cause issues, because you're working and you're putting your money into this account, and the other person is spending like there's no tomorrow, or they don't have any control over their spending, and they're not communicating about their spending. That's going to cause some real issues. You guys are going to have to sit down and have some very difficult conversations. And so some people might just want to be able to say, look, as long as we're paying the bills, you can do whatever you want with your money. As long as we're saving, you can do whatever you want, and it's not going to affect me. If you want to spend like a madman, go ahead and do that. I'm going to make sure that I look after my pennies. You can't do that in a joint account. Like, you both have to be responsible for your spending. Still on rubbish spending behaviors of spouses, if your account goes overdrawn because of poor spending decisions, both of you are responsible for that debt. Lastly, the truth of the matter is that having a joint account requires a whole load of trust, because at any time, either one of you can decide, you know what, I'm cleaning out the account and I'm getting out of here. That's the truth of the matter. So if you have a joint bank account, just know that, you know, you both have complete access and responsibility over the bank account, and one person could, you never know what would happen. You know, the demons of finances could take over your spouse, and they decide, you know what, they're taking all the money and they're running away. That's a possibility. So that is the final con that I can see of having a joint account. Right, let's get rid of all that negativity and look at the pros, the reasons why you should have a joint account, the reasons why it is good for you as a married couple to have a joint account. I'm not trying to sell this to you, but I can't help being happy to talk about how good joint bank accounts are. Right, pros. Here's a pro. It is much easier to share and manage your money, manage the family finances. When it's a joint account, you haven't got to be, well, how much did you bring in? Well, how much did you bring in? So what are you going to pay your money on? What are you going to pay for? What are you do? You don't need to do that. It's all there. You can make a decision for the month, you know, as to what's going to happen in this joint account, and you're done. It is much easier to manage your budgets, your bills, your financial goals, the works when you have a joint account. Major pro for marriage is that it just reduces a whole lot of the arguments around money. You've got nothing to argue about. You can both see what's going on in the account. I don't need to be asking you questions all the time. I don't need to be finding out how much money you've got, how much money you've spent. We can see it. We've both got access to it. So there's no real reason for us to be having conflicts and arguments about the account, unless it's a case that we're just not agreeing on how to manage it. But I'm definitely not going to be feeling like I need to be Inspector Clouseau, or, you know, trying to figure out how you're spending your money, because we can both see what's going on. So there really shouldn't be any reasons for us to be arguing about the account. So this one I absolutely love, and it's the fact that having a joint account is going to remove suspicion. It's going to close the doors to distrust when it comes to your finances. And you know, I always tell you guys that in your marriages, you really need to make sure that any areas that can bring suspicion or just wondering or lack of trust, you need to close those gaps. You need to close those doors. Having a joint account closes the doors on suspicion in terms of money. Like, you don't have to wonder what is going on with your spouse's money. There should be no reason for suspicion. Another major pro for us married couples who want to remain happily married is that having a joint account forces us to come together regularly to talk about money. And you know, we will sit down and we'll talk about our goals and what we're planning towards and the bills and stuff. And I just think that any reason or opportunity for us to come together as a couple and have to find a common ground, we have to be united, is a good thing. And having a joint account definitely fosters a united approach to your money and forces you to come together and work as a team. And lastly, just to get a little bit legal on you, it actually works in your favor when the unfortunate happens and one of you passes away. When one of you dies, you don't have to go through the legal system of trying to claim that, you know, part of this money is yours and all that. No, automatically the money that is in that account is yours. And you know, we're not wishing death on anybody, but it's gonna happen. And so having a joint account means that you automatically get rights to that money without having to fight and go through the legal system. So that's a plus, sort of. Right, so I hope that I've convinced you guys to actually think more about having a joint account. Like I said, Mr. Chewacko and I didn't at first, but yeah, we thought it was the best choice for us. So how we work it is that we both have businesses, and so we have separate business accounts, but all our bills and all our savings and everything gets pulled into one central place. And so we have to sit down on a regular basis and make plans and talk and come together and decide how our money is going to be used. We are one. My money is his money is my money. I have to be responsible. He has to be responsible. We have to decide who is best with managing, who's best with budgeting, and we work together as a team. And I just think that as a married couple, that's how you're supposed to be approaching things, you know. Having a joint account is great for bringing you guys together and helping you to plan a little bit better towards your future. And talking about planning, it is the beginning of the year. This is the time that you are supposed to sit down as a couple and make some financial goals for you and your family and your marriage. And if you're not sure how to do that, don't worry, I've got you. I've literally just posted a lengthy blog giving you tips and hints on how you can set some financial goals and the sort of things that it'll be good for you to start thinking about in terms of your money. So just head over to marriageforreal.co.uk and you will see it there. All right, that's it for today. I hope that you've learned something. I felt quite intellectual actually talking about joint accounts. If you do have any questions, hit me up. You can comment below or email admin@marriageforreal.co.uk. Yeah, and I'll see you next time.